Title: The Secret of the Old Library. Part 1: The Mysterious Library. Emma and Tom stood outside the old library, its walls covered in ivy and its windows dark and dusty. The building looked like it held many secrets, and Emma's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Tom, look at this place," Emma exclaimed. "It feels so mysterious." Tom hesitated, a bit unsure. "I don't know, Emma. It looks kind of creepy to me." Emma grinned. "Come on, don't be scared. I heard there's a secret room inside this library." Tom raised an eyebrow. "A secret room? Who told you that?" "Mrs. Baker, the librarian," Emma replied. "She said it's a secret, but I think she wants someone to find it." Tom looked even more skeptical. "Why would she tell you that?" "Maybe she knows I love mysteries," Emma said with a shrug. "Let's go in and find out." With a mix of excitement and caution, they pushed open the heavy wooden door and stepped inside. Part 2: A Clue from Mrs. Baker. The library was dimly lit, and the air was thick with the smell of old books. As they walked between the tall bookshelves, Mrs. Baker appeared from behind a stack of books, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "Hello, children," she greeted them warmly. "What brings you here today?" Emma tried to act casual. "Hi, Mrs. Baker. We're just here to look for some books." Mrs. Baker gave a knowing smile. "Books, is it? Or perhaps something else?" Tom felt nervous and quickly said, "Just books, really." Emma whispered to Tom to stay quiet and then turned to Mrs. Baker. "Can you tell us more about the secret room?" Mrs. Baker chuckled softly. "Ah, the secret room. It's not easy to find. It requires courage and curiosity." Emma beamed. "We have both. Can you give us a clue?" "Very well," Mrs. Baker said with a mysterious grin. "Start by looking at the old map near the fireplace. It might show you the way." Emma and Tom exchanged excited glances and hurried over to the fireplace. Part 3: The Map and the Bookshelf. Near the fireplace, they found an old map on the wall. Emma and Tom studied it carefully. "Look," Tom pointed out, "there's a strange mark here, like a star." "Yes," Emma exclaimed, "and there's an arrow pointing to the back of the library. Let's go that way." They followed the map to a large bookshelf that seemed ordinary at first. "This is just a bookshelf," Tom said, puzzled. "I don't see anything special." Emma started touching the books one by one. "Wait, these books feel different. Maybe one of them is the key." Tom laughed. "A book as a key? You've been watching too many movies." But Emma's eyes lit up. "No, look. This book has a small star on the cover, just like the map." She pulled the book, and the entire bookshelf began to move, revealing a hidden passage behind it. Tom gasped. "Wow, you were right." Emma grinned. "I told you. Let's go in." Part 4: Entering the Hidden Passage. They stepped cautiously into the dark passage, feeling both excited and a little scared. The air was cooler, and the walls were lined with cobwebs. Emma led the way, her steps confident, while Tom followed closely, looking around nervously. The passage led them to a small, dimly lit room. In the center stood an old wooden table, and on it was a dusty box. Tom whispered, "What do you think is inside?" Emma carefully opened the box. "I don't know, but it could be important." Inside, they found an old letter and a strange-looking key. Tom read the letter aloud. "To those who find this, the key unlocks the greatest secret of the library." Emma held up the key, her eyes wide with excitement. What could the secret be? Before they could think further, Mrs. Baker appeared behind them, her presence both surprising and comforting. Part 5: A Lesson from Mrs. Baker. Mrs. Baker smiled kindly at the two friends. "The greatest secret," she said, "is knowledge. But to unlock it, you must continue exploring and learning. The key is a symbol, children. Keep it with you and remember, the real treasure is always in the journey, not the destination." Tom smiled back. "Wow, that was amazing. Thank you, Mrs. Baker." Emma nodded. "Yes, thank you. We'll keep looking for more secrets." Mrs. Baker nodded, her smile widening. "You are always welcome here. The library holds many stories and many secrets." Feeling encouraged, Emma and Tom decided to explore further. They noticed a staircase leading down to a basement. Part 6: Exploring the Basement. The basement was dark, and the stairs creaked under their feet. Tom hesitated. "Are you sure we should go down here? It looks really scary." Emma, determined as always, replied, "Of course. Mrs. Baker said the real secret is in the journey. Let's see what else we can find." At the bottom of the stairs, they found a heavy wooden door with a strange symbol carved into it. Tom noticed the symbol and said, Hey, this looks like the same symbol as on the key. Emma nodded, pulling out the key. You're right. This must be the door it unlocks. She inserted the key, turned it, and the door creaked open, revealing another dark room. Part 7. The Room of Magical Lights. Inside, the room was illuminated by old lanterns that seemed to float in midair. The light cast strange shadows on the walls, revealing an ancient map hanging on one side. Tom stared in awe. Wow, it looks like magic. Look at that map. It's so old. Emma reached out to touch the map. Wait, there's something written here. Those who seek knowledge must follow the light. Tom thought for a moment. Maybe we need to follow these lanterns. Let's try. As if on cue, the lanterns began to move, floating towards another door. Part 8. The Test of Courage. They followed the lanterns into a new room where they found a large statue holding a scroll. Tom pointed at the scroll. I think we need to read that. Emma approached the statue and read aloud, Only the brave will pass. Touch the statue and prove your worth. Tom hesitated. Touch the statue? What if something bad happens? Emma, always the brave one, smiled. Trust me, Tom. Let's do it together. They both touched the statue at the same time. The room trembled for a moment, then the statue moved, revealing a hidden chest. Part 9. The Mysterious Chest. The chest opened slowly, revealing a collection of old books and a small leather-bound diary. Emma's curiosity was piqued. Look, a diary. This could be important. Tom opened the diary and began to read. This diary belongs to William Harper, the founder of this library. He wrote about a lost treasure. Emma's excitement grew. A treasure? It looks like we're on the trail of another adventure. Tom nodded eagerly. But where could this treasure be? Emma replied. Let's keep reading. There must be more clues. Part 10. The Vault of Knowledge. The diary spoke of a vault of knowledge hidden somewhere in the library. Emma and Tom knew this was their next destination. They noticed a familiar symbol on the floor, the same one they had seen on the map. Emma said, This symbol, it's a starting point. Maybe there's a hidden passage nearby. They searched carefully and found a loose stone. When they pressed it, a new passage opened up. Tom's eyes widened. Another passage. This has to lead to the vault. They followed the narrow tunnel, feeling the anticipation build with every step. Finally, they reached a large metal door that had Vault of Knowledge engraved on it. Tom whispered, This is it. We finally found it. Emma smiled, holding up the glowing key. Let's open it and see what secrets await. She inserted the key and the door slowly swung open. Inside, they saw shelves filled with ancient books, scrolls, and artifacts. Tom marveled at the sight. Look at all this. It's amazing, Emma grinned. I think this is the true secret of the library, the endless pursuit of knowledge. Tom nodded, and enjoying the journey along the way. They stepped inside, knowing they had only scratched the surface of what the old library had to offer. The adventure was far from over.